And it's good afternoon, everyone, from Carlisle Park, Auckland, where, of course, the first and only test being played this year between Australia and New Zealand. And here's the Australian side, and what a very imposing team it is, too. And we see Bobby Fulton, number 3, one of the outstanding players in the World Cup squad, and number 9, McCarthy. There's Bobby Fulton, who is, of course, awarded the Player of the World Cup Series in 1970 and turned on a brilliant exhibition in Huntly last Wednesday against the New Zealand 13. Very, very strong indeed. 5 South Sydney players playing today for Australia. And now the New Zealand side. And 2, we see that 9 Aucklands are in. A late defection has occurred. Number 2, John Whittaker, taking the place of Bob McGuinn, the Auckland wing three-quarter, who was hurt last Saturday in a club match. 2 newcomers, Sterling, number 7, and also we have Mike McLennan, the fullback. The referee today is Mr. John Percival. The ground conditions at the park, surprisingly very good indeed, considering the amount of showery weather that's been in Auckland the last 2 or 3 days. There it is, the kick-off now being taken by Bernie Lowther. World Cup centre three-quarter last year, made a test debut for New Zealand in 1970. Lowther, a young colt with a great future. In fact, one of the players that the English scouts wanted to sign on last year. They're very impressed with his form overseas. At the moment, not quite really on top yet in New Zealand. However, a big test today for him. And of course, this game today being watched by the national selectors and viewers, New Zealand's tour of Great Britain, which starts late in August. There's Mr. Percival's kick-off, whistle I should say, and the Australian captain Langlands. That wasn't the Australian captain, I'm sorry, that was the wing three-quarter Williamson with the ball, and inside the Australian 25. There's Langlands now. And of course the Australians not used to this 4th play of the ball. They're using it over the 6th play of the ball. McLennan, the new test cap for New Zealand, just short of the halfway line. Tackler then was Campbell. Kulovic, this time to O'Neill. O'Neill off the scene for some time then with a break on the elbow. Gary Smith, Wellingtonian, trying to crash through. And at the moment, looks like Coach Blanchard is using his forwards this time, trying to soften up the Australians. Halfway line, Kulovic. There's Tardana. Langlands inside his 25. The Australian captain running this time into Orchard. And some hard play at the moment. Offside the New Zealand players inside the 5 yards, and it's fairly hard at the moment. That's Sutler, South Sydney captain number 13. There's the referee's penalty, the crowd not liking it. The New Zealand team inside the 5 yards, caught then with Langlands kicking grandstand side. Not a good kick. There's the halfway line on the right. And the Australians, at the moment, Tardana working hard then, trying to take on O'Reilly. And at the moment there is a little bit of unusual play by the Australians then, coming in to interfere with the New Zealand team. So the tension on in the opening minutes of this game. 1 penalty apiece. Henry Tardana, the leading goal kicker in Auckland, and the man today so many expect so much of in his goal kicking. Doesn't usually take line kicks. Interesting to see if Tardana stays on there. Lowther, a particularly good kicker. John Whittaker, tap kick. Tardana, Whittaker instead. And Australia up inside the 5 yards. Referee Mr. John Percival right on today. Both teams 3 penalties in the space of only, 2 or 3 minutes. In fact, the clock shows about 3 minutes gone. And there's the distance for Tardana to have a shot at goal. Langland's coming up the query, indicating to his players to stand well back behind that 5 yards. Henry Tardana, who landed a remarkable 12 out of 13 shots in a provincial match recently at Carlisle Park. Certainly in form this season. And there it is, first points on the board for Henry Tardana and New Zealand. 2-0. Let's go back 2 years ago when New Zealand defeated Australia 18-14. The last game these two teams met at Carlisle Park. And just of interest too that 50 years ago the first game was played at Carlisle Park yesterday. There's a kickoff by Campbell. McLennan inside his 25. That's on the 25-yard line. O'Neill, Kulitic, Heatley. Knock on Heatley. Getting up slowly. That's the 25-yard line. His front rows now. New Zealand slightly outweighing the Australian pack. And pretty solid in there at the moment. And immediately Fitzsimmons, number 12, the Australian hooker, is penalised, striking too fast. Tardana toward the terrace side this time. But he skied this one. In fact, didn't gain a great deal of distance, only about 18 yards. And there's the halfway line. John Whittaker from Wellington, tap kick. Kulitic, Whittaker. There it goes to Heatley, Willard. Got outside a man then, but Bobby Fulton very quick. Sterling, back to Kulitic, Smith. Halfway line just inside Australian territory. O'Neill, New Zealand's hooker, dummy half. Straight away, Orchard kicking this time. Langland's going back. Beautiful tackle, Heatley. Williamson at dummy half. New Zealand forwards in hard. Tardana, number 10. Langland's dummy half. Sattler at dummy half this time. Clearing out of trouble with Langland's, but he's kicked, hurried. And the Australians offside at the moment. McLennan waiting. Whittaker. Beautiful tackle, Campbell. 25-yard line. Loud it up, plays it. Sterling. Christian, New Zealand captain. Heatley trying to sell a dummy. Brereton, the Canterbury wing three-quarter, 25-yard line. Williamson there. Heatley at dummy half. New Zealand look good at the moment. Orchard. In goes Sattler then. And also Fitzsimmons. 13 Sattler, 12 Fitzsimmons, the hooker. And 11 is O'Reilly. 25-yard line. O'Neill. His Tartan is high up and under. Testing Langland's. Langland's trying to run it out. Smith the tackler. And Langland's not happy. Drop out 25. Haven't seen anything yet of Bobby McCarthy. There's Langland's, the Australian captain. Well-known and very experienced footballer, Langland's. Played a lot of football for Australia. There's his kick, he's topped it. 25-yard line, Kulitic. Australia definitely under pressure. Time gone 8 minutes. New Zealand 2, Australia 0. The backs now. Christian coming back in field. And it goes this time. The ball on the ground. McLennan, 25-yard line. They've still got Australia pinned, but this time Bobby McCarthy, I think it was. Yes, McCarthy the tackler. Tardana, 25-yard line. Heatley looking to his left and right. Sterling this time. Willard, little stab kick. Stray. Fulton has it. The brilliant Australian centre three-quarter. Australia starved of ball at the moment. First 10 minutes almost up and all New Zealand. Sattler. And New Zealand caught inside the 5 yards. Certainly tension on at the moment. Langland's looking toward the terrace touch. As his kick, much better one this time. Yardage gained something like 40 yards. Australian forwards, there's Langland's, there's the tap kick this time. Grant the halfback. And Tony Branson, the standoff then, not getting to it quite cleanly. Grant and Branson certainly no chance yet to settle down. That's Tony Branson. And Australia winning the first scrum. Langland's caught. This time O'Reilly, and let's have a look. Australia inside the 5 yards. The attacking team being penalised, and O'Reilly not happy. And the rule states that the attacking or defending side have to be back the required 5 yards. But Australia then caught. And here's Tardana kicking from just inside the halfway line, terrace side he's aiming for. Right footer down a right touch. Oh, a nice kick, Tardana. It's a hard one to do, and he gained something like 45 yards. New Zealand inside the 25. But Whittaker this time went solid from the tap kick, and the ball not placed on the mark correctly. Referee Mr. John Percival, who incidentally handled the Australians in the World Cup when it was played in the Australasian area the last occasion. So he's fully aware of the Australians, and it's certainly on in the front row. Sattler, O'Neill. There's Johnny Sattler with his sleeves rolled up. He's a hard, tough customer. And Sattler just back from suspension. See that scrum, the way it's crawling crab-like across towards centre field. England's this time the blind side of the scrum, and usually he's not covering right at the back. There's Grant puts it in, Sterling out, and there's Willard with it, New Zealand on the 25, attacking again. Smith at dummy half. How to go Sterling, takes the place of his standoff. Smith again, taking it out. Campbell the tackler, Sattler there. Kulovic now. Reverse pass back, Orchard up centre field. A big 16-stone 8 prop, 10, 15 yards short of the line, right out in front of the uprights, and the referee talking to Sattler then. Sattler and Orchard marking each other in the front row. There's Langlands to the right of the scrum. Australia winning all ball at the moment. And well caught offside, despite the fact that Fulton covered them by Lowther. Here's the penalty. And Langlands pass to Fulton then. Fulton offside. He's been hugging the margin line of offside very much so in this opening 11 minutes. And so Tardana back to the 25 for this second shot at goal. New Tardana plays for Mount Albert in Auckland. Certainly a prolific goal kicker this year. Quite casual in his approach, very hurried in his actions in a sense. Seems to place the ball down and then quickly gets underway. There it is, 2 out of 2 for Tardana. New Zealand 4, Australia 0. So Henry Tardana maintaining his accuracy, something like 80% throughout the season. Remarkable kicking by Tardana, although the shots so far we've seen from him comparatively easy from international standards. There it is, Campbell. Keith Campbell, who kicked 7 out of 9 last Wednesday for the New Australians against the New Zealand 13. John Whittaker, 25-yard line. It's time Lowther. Back it goes, and it was Christian then in close. O'Neill, Kulovic, Heatley, Sterling, well covered Campbell, out to Willard, back pass Brereton, racing, caught by the cover, however. Williamson covered him all the way then, number 2 for the Australia. Heatley quickly. Kulovic. Back this time, races Langlands, hands not good, but no knock on. Kulovic the tackler, what a great cover defender, Tony Kulovic. Williamson, dummy half. Australia slow at the moment to get back. Heatley there. This time McCarthy sends it out now to his standoff, Tony Branson. Bobby Grant. McLennan now, the ball not going too well for Australia. McLennan up the halfway line. There's Campbell with a nice cover tackle. Brereton a dummy half, just inside the Australian half, New Zealand. They lead 4-0. Smith, and well covered in by O'Reilly. Halfway line, O'Neill. Kulovic, deflected back. The referee calls for a scrum. halfway line. Sterling waiting for the front row of Tartan to get down. Sterling, Willard, Lowther coming back into cover. Dangerous tactics this. This time Auckland, New Zealand nonplussed at the moment, flat-footed. And Willard well caught then by Tony Branson. 5 yards inside their half, New Zealand. Smith. O'Neill, back it goes, this time Heatley. They're walking New Zealand. And now Australia, Williamson with a chance, trying to beat Brereton. He's left Brereton. Sterling has him just outside the 25. McLennan there as well. Nice tackle, Sterling. This time it's Grant, this time it's Upper Sattler, the big prop. 25, Orchard marks him, and these two had a duo struggle today. Fitzsimmons. Well, it goes this time. Bobby Fulton overrun it. He's offside. And Australia momentarily starting to warm up. They're starved of ball at the moment. Tardana kicking toward the grandstand touch. No mistakes here. Both sides finding touch well. Yardage gained only about 18 yards, but they're just short of the halfway line. Brereton, O'Neill, he's walking at the moment. O'Reilly the tackler. Orchard, dummy half. Smith now. No pace on the New Zealand forwards, out deep at the moment, allowing Australia easily to get up top. That was McCarthy, the tackler. Heatley now. Bullard kicks deep, sensibly. Back this time goes Brannigan. And he's caught by Lowther, and what's happened? It's a penalty to Australia. Lowther being penalised. So there's plenty of penalties and scrums at the moment. There's something like 7, 10, 13 either penalties or scrums in the first 15 and a half minutes. So it's 10 yards outside the Australian 25. Bobby Grant. But the Australians at the moment caught by good cover. Heatley there. This time it's Campbell, takes it out to O'Reilly. O'Reilly this time onto McCarthy trying to burst clear, but well held in by Henry Tardana. Bobby Grant, Langlands, McLennan waiting this time, knocked on, and he's caught then by Fulton, just outside his 25. Terrace side, Krilitic, Fulton there again, covering very well. Christian in close, forsaking his centre position. Willard running back into the forwards. Sattler. O'Neill. Heatley having a sidestepping run. Sterling coming back in, but New Zealand are running back into cover, making it easier for the Australians. Then New Zealand not working their outer flanks at all at the moment. They're trying to come back in. There's Fitzsimmons, the hooker for Australia. Grant putting it in. Front row's not even down at the moment. Campbell at the back of the scrum for Australia. Front rows are high, very high in the moment. And this time it's Grant. Bobby Grant looks at referee Purcell and indicated arm action, feet under Fitzsimmons. I should say the ball under Fitzsimmons. And there is Tardana. 10 yards outside the 25. Brereton solo. Williamson. And we're 15 yards up from the Australian line. New Zealand still lead 4 to Australia, yet to score. 18 minutes gone. Willard. O'Neill. Here's the first try. Let's see the replay where, I should say, watch the try score. Let's look at that replay then when the Australian forwards hung off. Watch now as Krillitich takes it out. Back to Smith, who stands and waits for Orchard to dive through. And Heatley then almost as a partial block shepherd, I thought. But the Australian forwards then didn't cover Smith. And so at 7, we've tried the easiest of conversions. There it is, Tardana, 3 now. Goals out of 3 attempts. 1 try, a conversion, 2 penalties. And the clock almost showing the end of the first quarter. 20 minutes almost up. Campbell to kick off. A world champion Australia. Yet really to get into this game. Orchard. O'Neill, Krillitich. Smith. O'Neill. Sterling. Smith at 12 yards inside Australia's half. Heatley almost clear, just quarter, no more. Here's the time, 20 minutes gone, New Zealand at 9, Australia 0. Christian, Sterling, Lowther. Fulton has him. McLennan up in the back line then, he's just going back. 4th tackle applied then, it's a scrum. Heatley very nearly in the clear. Number 13 at the back of the scrum for New Zealand. Grant working the blind. Williamson. Stun. Sadler. Riley waiting to take it out. Langlands. Christian, the New Zealand captain. McLennan. Fulton. Great cover tackle today. Whittaker. Christian again. Krillitich. Sterling. McCarthy, the tackler. Krillitich. Orchard. Campbell there. Willard kicks for Brereton. Williamson. Willard there. Smith is short of the 25 by 5 yards. Australia defending. Bobby Grant. So Riley. At this time, Tony Branson, Heatley, just outside the 25. Grant again, Bobby McCarthy. Sterling with it, but the referee calling Bobby Fulton over this time. Australia at the moment under pressure. It's a 25-yard line. Open cropped very high. O'Neill strikes well. Willard on the 25. O'Neill, Heatley. McLennan there, the fullback. Paul safe, number 8, the outside centre then. Krillitich. Lob pass, Willard. And Brannigan very quickly in on Whittaker. O'Neill. About 16 minutes left before half-time. As the front rows, New Zealand's with a slight weight advantage in this scrum. At the moment, the scrums are favouring Australia by 6 to 4. So Fitzsimmons ahead at the moment of O'Neill. When the referee not happy the way the scrum is going across towards centre of field. The last time Australia and New Zealand met in a World Cup, Australia defeated them by 47 points to 11. And the last game played at Carlisle Park, New Zealand 18, Australia 14 in 1969. At the moment, of course, the Kiwis are 9 and Australia 0. And could be a penalty coming here if this ball isn't hooked cleanly. There it is, a strike by O'Neill. The New Zealand hooker, penalty, Australia. About 8 yards up from their 25. Graham Langland goes for the torpedo. Brannigan tosses it now out to Fitzsimmons. There's O'Reilly to Sattler. Certainly Australia not happy at the moment with the amount of possession they're getting. O'Reilly this time. Out to McCarthy. 10-yard mark in New Zealand territory. Grant at dummy half. O'Reilly. Campbell. Heatley covering well. And O'Neill. Bobby Grant the halfback. Bobby Fulton. There's his kick. Breton. Williamson, his opposite number, has him. Lava. Woolard in close. The New Zealand forwards not covering at the moment. There's O'Reilly and Smith having a... Tardiner, 25. Smith. Woolard. Sterling. Lava. Beats Tony Branson. McCarthy there. And Sate has it. But a double knock-on. Costello not just quite holding that ball. 10 yards up from the New Zealand 25. There's O'Reilly, the open prop, getting right underneath Tardiner. Sterling. Woolard. And Langland's up from the fullback position. Heatley, Krilic. Smith this time. Tardiner, Sterling. And Christian, Lava. We're inside Australian territory, 25-yard line. So Whittaker, has he got the legs? There it is, try number 2. John Whittaker, the Wellingtonian, wins three-quarter. New Zealand, look at the replay. Sterling lobbing high this time. Christian, Lava, catching the Australians at the moment. And you see where Brannigan came in, the number 5, and left Whittaker. And that was the mistake by the Australians. Brannigan leaving his man and allowing Whittaker this time to get in the clear. Tardiner with his shot at goal. So New Zealand now 12. And Tardiner with the hardest kick he's had so far in this game. About 31 yards. There's the kick. And it's New Zealand surprising everybody, 14-0. 2 tries, 4 goals out of 4. Henry Tardiner. No doubt the world champions nonplussed at the moment to be trailing by such a score. Over here for the object for New Zealand to find their best touring side to go away to the UK and France. And there's Heatley on the 25, Sterling, McLennan. O'Neill. Fulitic, O'Neill again. Christian, who's been partly forward and partly centre. Sterling. Back to Christian, covering everything. New Zealand captain, Brereton. But it's the Kiwis with possession. And what a commanding lead they have, too, at this stage of the game. About 11 minutes before half-time. The lead by 14-0. The front rows, Tardiner and O'Reilly. And it was O'Reilly that hooked that one. Sate. Ball on the ground. Australia losing possession quickly. And Lowther being penalised on that occasion. And so Australia now with a chance here. Can't quite sight who that player is at the head at the moment. There's Langlands, the Australian captain, talking to Bobby McCarthy. The referee looking on. Looks like Paul Sate to me getting up now. There's Sate. You see Brannigan at number 5. 13 is Sattler. Sate, who's played second row, loose forward and centre for Australia. And the Australians forsaking a shot at goal. Well, they're under pressure now when they're kicking for touch from that yardage away from the uprights. Brannigan flicks the ball to his hooker Fitzsimmons. Grant this time, back it goes to McCarthy. Smith, Grant again. O'Reilly, Campbell. Orchard there. 20 yards short of the line, Australia. Grant. Tony Branson the standoff. Paul Sate. Fulton. And Australia not penetrating whatsoever. They've been playing the 6-tackle rule over there, and all of the players are completely enthusiastic about the 6-tackle rule. Timeout at the moment, a New Zealand player hurt, and I think it's Gary Smith, who came in just momentarily before to take McCarthy, and he's not too happy at all. Looks like a shoulder injury. Christian there, the New Zealand captain, McLennan and Lowther. But Australia certainly, with the time on the board, 30 minutes on the clock and down by 14-0, fairly much starved of ball throughout this first 30 minutes. And two, I think the fourth tackle is nullifying their play. They're not mounting their attacks quick enough. Whereas the Australians have made one or two bad mistakes. One when they allowed Smith standing up then to turn and get the pass away to Orchard, close to the goal line. Their forwards not covering. The second when Brannigan coming in and leaving Whittaker for a clear run. Smith all right, World Cup player last year. There's a scrum just inside the Australian 25. New Zealand 25, I'm sorry. Heatley off the back of the scrum. Brereton, Grant there on the halfway. Certainly Brereton did well to take Heatley's pass. Branson on the halfway. McCarthy this time. O'Reilly. McCarthy. Oh, Sattler. Australia desperate at the moment. Campbell. Costello. Grant in a dummy half. Out it comes Branson this time, running into the New Zealand forwards and Lowther. And it's a fourth tackle applies. There's Heatley, one of the greats of the Auckland club football this season, certainly playing fantastically for Otahu, his club team. Sterling waiting for the Tartan to get clear at the moment. There's no channel. And somebody has certainly dropped the loose arm. It must be... And I can't quite sight then. It did look like an Australian, but however, it's a penalty going their way, halfway line. And brilliantly taken, Whittaker. Brannigan there. Smith, Krilitic, Orchard, Heatley, feeding off 1 and 2, back. Krilitic, a long one. Willard, Christian. Back and forward is taken by Sate. Christian then going for the return pass quickly. Williamson, Fulton, forsaking outside centre position, coming back into the forward position. Lowther there. Sate waiting to take it out. 15 yards from the line, Australia. O'Reilly. Langland's in the back line. Brannigan did well to hold it. Whittaker and Sterling there. Outside the 25, Langland's. O'Reilly this time. McCarthy. Offside. Australia the pass forward. Tardana, right footer down this right touch. He won't gain too much yardage. He's too close to the sideline. Something about like 10 yards. 8 minutes to go before half-time. Whittaker. And Neal. Tardana, Orchard. Heatley, well held in by Branson. Krilitic, the 10-yard mark, New Zealand territory. There's Christian, the New Zealand captain in Australian territory. Williamson. And Fulton has it. Second time Christian has tossed the ball back to an Australian intercept there. Sattler. Bobby Grant at dummy half. McCarthy standing much wider. Outside centre then was Lowther, number 3, coming in. Sate pushing away Sterling. There's Sate now. Grant. This time Campbell. Brereton. There's Fulton with his ankle tackle. Sterling and New Zealand a bit uncertain and coming back, and Heatley picking it up. But New Zealand a bit slow then to get back in position. Sterling waiting to... We're going to put this ball in. Scrums at the moment. Very little difference. 8-7 in favour of Australia. It's now 9-7. Langland's, Fulton, McLennan there. And Fulton lost the ball, and there's Sterling with it. And again, New Zealand so quick to this loose ball. Heatley, realising Langland's is up, driving back the Australian captain. Smart football by Heatley. And Heatley following through brilliant fashion. Grant now. And Orchard right in. And certainly a very hard tackle in by Orchard. Bobby McCarthy up straight away in Langland's. Now there's Orchard, the man who crash tackled in the Australian player, and certainly hit him very, very hard indeed. I just can't quite see who it happens to be. I think it looks like Campbell to me. I'm waiting for him. It's Costello. Costello it is. He's looking. He looks okay to me. Certainly he went to the ground very hard indeed. There's Grant up to O'Reilly. Campbell. And again Australia's hands. Bobby McCarthy, one of the greats of the Australian team at the moment, certainly not getting the opportunity he would like today. 12 yards inside New Zealand's half. And the Kiwis well in command at the moment by 14-0. Sterling, Christian, Branson, Lava. Not good football in by the New Zealanders. Woolard, Smith, Sattler and McCarthy there. Tardiner, Safe coming in from the outside centre then, and Costello. Costello is all right. Kulovic, Heatley. Kicking intelligently at the moment too. Brannigan. Christian. There's O'Reilly. Orchard coming in hard then to O'Reilly, and back goes O'Reilly. Penalty to the Australians. Orchard being penalised. Langlands this time from centre field. He didn't make the touchline from the last occasion, and didn't go for depth on this occasion. Much more flatter in his direction across field, and so he's found touch. Fitzsimmons. There's Branson. Oh, a very high one going from New Zealand then. Heatley the tackler. Grant, Sattler, Costello, Smith going for the intercept. Just inside New Zealand's half. There's Branson, O'Reilly, and Christian this time getting ahead of the Australians and gaining possession. Smith, and only a couple of minutes before half-time. O'Neill, Orchard, Tardiner, Kulovic, and Bobby Grant. Back goes Williamson on the 25. Sterling a great tackle. Fulton, Tardiner, Brereton, and Paul Sate in there. And Sattler in, number 13, everything starting to move at the moment. Sattler and Henry Tardiner then. Sattler from South Sydney, Paul Sate getting called out by referee John Percival. And John Sattler. Obviously, Percival is warning Paul Sate, the man who I think who probably started it all, and then Sattler by coming in, and when he tossed another one. New Zealand a penalty. Back goes Paul Sate. And Tardiner taking his time. At the moment he's going to have a shot at goal. Well, possibly a little surprising to see Henry have a shot at goal. The yardage is certainly around about 54 to 53 yards. That ball must be much lighter than what I'm anticipating, because Tardiner is about at the maximum of his kicking power. There's his kick. But he's driven back the Australians inside their own 25. So in one sense, it's good tactics. As Langland's, of course, trying to run it out. And the clock showing almost half-time. Bobby Grant waiting to take it out. McCarthy. Australians start trying to stand wide at this time, but having difficulty in penetrating New Zealand. Branson this time to Grant. Fulton well up there and miles offside. But Williamson has hold of Brereton. And there it is, it's half-time. And the crowd applauding at Carlisle Park, where New Zealand, certainly the underdogs in this test match, have turned on a very, very good first half. The scrums have favoured Australians by 9-7, but New Zealand have scored 2 excellent tries, mistakes by the Australians, and deservedly are leading by 14 points to 0. Australia not quite yet in this game. They'll have to work overtime in the next 40 minutes. And the second half almost ready to commence, with, of course, New Zealand leading by 14-0 over the world champions Australia. Certainly a shock score at the moment in the Rugby League International world. Australia are most interested to see just what they do in the next 10 to 15 minutes. Obviously, Coach Harry Buff, a disturbed man, and he must apply pressure. The Australians not quite in it at the moment. There's McLennan. And Australia must get some points on the board in a hurry in this opening 10 minutes. They've been out of the game for practically most of the first half, and their handling not good at all. They're not covering quite as well. 2 errors, and of course New Zealand 2 tries. Smith now, and New Zealand clearing their line very well indeed. They're almost up to the halfway line. It's Tardiner, who's kicked 4 out of 5 goals. Williamson on the 25. Christian taking him on the 10-yard mark, Australian territory. Bobby Grant, dummy half. O'Reilly, the halfway line coming up. Grant in again at dummy half. Branson. And Kulovich and tackler. Is Tony Branson. Fitzsimmons, Langlands. McLennan very deep at the moment. Making sure not going quickly to pick this ball up. Costello. Brereton, New Zealand inside their 25. Willard, McCarthy there. Sterling, Heatley. Brilliant kick. It's New Zealand out of trouble. There's the halfway line, the left of the screen. The front rows are Neil there, Orchard. JJ49, you've just won a prize by Guinness. And New Zealand not packing correctly, they're straight away penalised. Langlands will kick down the terrace touchline. Not a good kick. Right footer again down that same touchline, only gained about 15 yards. Fitzsimmons a top kicker. Grant now waiting, and there goes Costello, almost getting in the clear.
Can we have that ball back, please?
25-yard line just ahead of the Australians. New Zealand on defence. O'Reilly, McCarthy wider this time, but well covered by Kulovich. Grant, Campbell. Note how the Australians are virtually labouring now to penetrate through New Zealand defence. It's flat and stretched right across the field. O'Reilly this time. Williamson. And he too coming back in field and running into cover, which is what a good winger should never do. So the yardage gained by the Australians in only something like 8 and 9, indicating that New Zealand's defence is very, very flat and particularly efficient. Sterling. O'Neill. Willard. Almost telegraphing that move then, and he looks for Smith to come inside him. Kulovich. Tardiner. New Zealand adventurous at the moment, tossing it around in front of their uprights. Tardiner again. Orchard. Wisely kicking deep this time, driving back Brannigan and the Langlands. And McLennan now. There's Bobby McCarthy, and he's beaten him. Grant there. Lava. O'Neill. Heatley. Pulovic coming back. Lock on. The crowd almost getting to their feet then when Heatley starts to move with that ball. 9 yards inside New Zealand half. Sterling. There's a loose arm by the Australian hooker then. Langland, the Australian captain, will out for the intercept. With Branson there. Campbell. Grant. Safe. McCarthy wider still. Australia desperate at the moment. Grant. O'Reilly. Fulton inside the 25. Grant again. I should say not Grant, it's Grant now. There's Campbell. The Australian forwards are standing very, very wide indeed. They're trying to get through the New Zealand backline, but the New Zealand forwards are out with them. Bulletin standing also wide. Good tactics, New Zealand here. Australia a bit more pressure now than we've seen in the game. They're down 14-0, 5 minutes gone into the third quarter. Orchard not in, he's not tacking right on the blind side. It's Brereton trying to beat Williamson. And stand up, which is a vital factor. And Fulton has it. Not Fulton, I should say Campbell, there's Sattler. O'Reilly. Pulovic has him. Grant. Langlands. McCarthy wider. Fulton. Beats Christian. Lowther there. Sterling across. Great cover. Fulton in. Branson. His kick astray. Very good New Zealand. Orchard, neatly, particularly sound on that take of ball. O'Neill. Tardiner, getting New Zealand out of trouble. Brannigan. Halfway line. Langlands. Got some speed up now. In goes Pulovic with a hard tackle. Australian captain just outside New Zealand 25. Grant, stab kick. McLennan. Williamson there. Just 5 yards up from New Zealand line. Definitely Australia now moving much quicker. Pulovic, almost the sole New Zealand forward there. Smith waiting for it. Woolard must come back into his forward division. 10 yards from the line, New Zealand. O'Neill, Tardiner, his kick. Langland sprinting. Lowther in. And Tardiner up there. 12 yards up from New Zealand 25. Fulton, McCarthy, Fulton. Smith has him. And the Lowther there. Grant this time as first pass man. O'Reilly, Branson. Better, Grant, Australia look better now. Great tackle and Pulovic again. Pile driving Australia. Fitzsimmons, Fulton, they're working well, Australia. McLennan there in the in-goal area. Note now the big difference in Australia. What is it, 9 minutes gone. The world champions are working overtime and New Zealand are at the moment hanging on. Australia certainly applying great pressure. And they're using their forwards intelligently, standing wide of their forwards, trying to penetrate through, switch of play. Grant changing from dummy half to first pass man. And the tension on in this game now. Tardiner under these uprights. He's topped this one. Costello on the 25. Smith is beaten. Orchard. Costello. Well held eventually. Pulovic, great tackling. O'Reilly driving forward. 15 yards out, the Australians. Fulton on the blind. McCarthy, desperate at the moment. Inches short, McCarthy. Costello, Fulton. Great cover, New Zealand. Australia must spin it wide then and brought throw the ball on. They had to spin it wide. This is a vital scrum for New Zealand. Heatley off the back of the scrum, McLennan right behind it for the Kiwis. And the scrum comes toward the grandstand touch, 15 yards away from the pair, only 5 yards out from the line. Down 14-0 the Australians, and tactics here by both hookers fighting for that loose head. Waste time, New Zealand. Look how high the front rows are. Grant. McCarthy, Fulton, Kilovich, giving back McLennan up there as well as Christian, New Zealand captain. 18 yards from the line, Australia. McCarthy, a lob pass up. He's got 80 yards to run. He's got 55 yards to run. Across comes now the Australian cover offense. Langlands. Ball on the ground. Grant picks it up. Great run, Breton on the 25. Langlands a tremendous tackle at the Australian captain. Australians slow to get back. Costello goes solo. Wait for the Australians. Still coming back. McCarthy not back yet. 7 of them. Crowd roaring as New Zealand with Breton with about an 85-yard sprint, not quite getting there. Langlands. McLennan, soccer fashion. Fitzsimmons attacking. Woolard. Williamson. Grant. Zealand giving away possession at the moment. O'Reilly, Costello, and Costello. What a wait to that reverse pass. About 12 minutes on the clock, third quarter. And New Zealand still leading 14-0 as they did at half-time. And the front row is still fighting for their loose head position here. Possession very, very vital at this stage. Well, Australia has tossed everything at New Zealand this opening 10 minutes after half-time and yet to get points on the board. O'Neill, I should say, it's Grant this time. Well, he came to the scrum, I don't know, but it's the Australian halfback that finished up on the channel, and Woolard, Rather, showing everybody a dummy. They send a three-quarter, sprinting, going across for Whittaker. Great tackle again, Raymond, tremendous on cover. Christian, Woolard, Whittaker, 25-yard line. Christian, I should say, Kilovich, Ray Christian, Cardona, top gathering speed, back to Orchard. Breton, Cardona, inside the 25, Australia 67. 8 yards from the line, Cardona, McLennan, Eddie Heatley. Woolard, the losing ground, New Zealand. Branson has him. Definite chance there for the Kiwis. But Australia, very, very fast back then on the fence. And Taylor on his own when he had the opportunity in Australia at 6s and 7s on cover. And now 12 yards inside their own half, Australia. Branson got Sate on his left. This time Sate to Grant, to O'Reilly. Campbell, they're moving better, Australia. Whittaker there. Sattler, 25-yard line, the prop. 20 yards short now, Australia. Still looking for these points on the board. Branson, Grant, Fitzsimmons. Australia turned that ball back into the cover when they had the New Zealand on the outside flanks. Grant hurt. Australia halfback.
Don't forget Tuesday here at Carlo Park, Australia versus Auckland.
So it's certainly a surprises all round. At the moment it's not as at Woolard. I'm looking to see just who actually is hurt. Grant was on his knee, and Woolard now it is. The New Zealand standoff receiving, or going to receive medical attention. The ground is fairly soft in patches, particularly over toward the grandstand side, but Australia now coming back. They're trying to work New Zealand left and right and then go up the centre, but the New Zealand defence very, very good indeed. And of course we've seen that great run of Brereton's, and then the New Zealand combination working with backs and forwards being mixed up, and Australia hanging on when Tardana almost a chance. Not the points on the board that really count in this test, and it's 14-0. With time gone, New Zealand leading about 15 minutes gone in this. Woolard all right. And it's come out now. Branson, he's got Langlands with him. But a nice cover tackle then by Melbourne. Fulton, Branson, they're punching Australia at the moment badly. Grant, McCarthy, Brannigan, Whittaker, ball on the ground. And it's the Australian penalised game. Fitzsimmons all over the New Zealander, and so it's quickly Tardana on the 25-yard line. New Zealand still on defence. New ball's being used at the moment. Whittaker, Australia not retiring 10 yards. Tardana. And so New Zealand now inside the Australian half. Well, Australia now have got to score a point about every half a minute. They're going to win this test. Kulovich, or Neil, I should say, running wide. Heatley. Campbell, just outside his 25. McCarthy, Sattler, Branson, Fulton, the World Cup player, brilliant. Back to Langlands, Christian. Fulton can't get that ball, Whittaker. And it goes now to Woolard, not going. Nothing going right for the Australians. Scrum inside the New Zealand 25. New Zealand's defence now being very well tested. The back line is flat. Australia all ball. Campbell, 20 yards short of the line. Grant, O'Reilly, Smith intercepting. Tardana, Heatley. Woolard, Tardana again. Fitzsimmons low. And Neil Orchard kicks the grandstand sideline. Brannigan, Whittaker there, and Lowther. Grant running into Smith. Sattler. Paul Sate. Williamson trying to beat Christian. Costello. Branson. McLennan. Campbell Low. Outside the New Zealand 25. Lowther. Willard. Sterling. Krulevich. Krulevich coming up to the halfway line. There the New Zealand captain, Christian. Right it goes to Brett. Brett's got the Brett on his right. Beautiful Brett. Beautiful Brett. Watch Tony Krulevich go through the gap. There he goes, Krulevich. In brilliant fashion. Christian scrimming. Turns to Breton. Breton has McLennan on his right in the wing three-quarter. A brilliant try, New Zealand. Brilliant indeed. Lucky Breton, the Canterbury wing three-quarter. And the crowd wild on the terraces here at Carlisle Park, where New Zealand are in the fantastic lead of 17-0 over the world champions Australia. Unbelievable. Round of applause for the Kiwi side, coached by Laurie Blanchard, as Tardiner raises the flag. Literally incredible today, Henry Tardiner. Right on form in Australia. One wonders just what's going through their mind at the moment. 19-0. As Campbell comes up to recommence play. There's the clock. We're starting the last quarter in this shock of shock tests played at Carlisle Park. And McLennan, for the first time, he's endeavoured to take the ball cleanly on the floor. So back inside the Kiwi 25. Would say Australia no show whatsoever. They've got to score now at the rate of a point a minute to win this test. And it's Paul Sate, 18 yards out from the line. Branson, O'Reilly, back to Sattler. New Zealand certainly beating Australia now. To the ball, Lowther with it on the 25. Breton, Williamson has him this time. Christian, Krulevich on the burst. Tardiner and Bobby McCarthy almost on the intercept there. Very, very nearly Bobby McCarthy. It's the pass a shade hard for him. He just couldn't quite hold it. And he still had McLennan, however, to contend with. The New Zealand fullback was in the right position to cover him. Grant with it. The Sate trying to beat Lowther on the 25. Incredible, really, when you think of the score in the last World Cup. Australia defeated New Zealand by 47-11. Today now, they're trailing by 19-0. Back to Campbell. Sattler now. To Fulton. McLennan. And a fast-moving Bobby Grant. Christian now, the New Zealand captain, back in amongst the fours. He's covering everything today. It's certainly playing a roving game. O'Neill, Orchard, running hard in the McCarthy wing. Sattler there. Tardiner, a stab kick, beautifully placed. Retrieves it like a back. Krulevich. Langlands has to run inside the 10-yard mark in his own half. Smith has him. Great tackle in New Zealand. Williamson, Australia, slow to get back. So Williamson has to run hard and solo. Fitzsimmons. Pilovich has it. Smith now. Tarana. Sterling. Beats McCarthy. Still 40 yards from the line. O'Neill. Willard. Branson there. The Australians are back inside their own 25. Sate. O'Reilly. That's Christian on the ground. Sattler. In goes Orchard hard and New Zealand caught. Inside the 5 yards. Orchard went on the Sattler very hard. Langland's down the grandstand touch. On the 10-yard, no, about 12-yard mark. New Zealand territory. Branson, Grant, Sate. Fine tackle then by New Zealand's Sterling. Costello. McCarthy, Brannigan. Well held by Whittaker. 30 yards out the Australians. Grant. As Branson's kick for the grandstand touch. McLennan in goal area. Caught by Fitzsimmons. 15 yards up from the line. Heatley. They've got Australia at the moment. Willard. Brereton. Not on. Open side, Australia were caught then. Brereton certainly having a great day today. About 14 and a half minutes left in this game. Willard trying to beat Branson. Lava, New Zealand slow at the moment. They're forwards to break clear from that scrum. Very few on the right. Pilovich going back to where his forwards are. They look tired at the moment, New Zealand. Willard, Brereton in the clear. Some yards before he runs into Williamson. Sattler. Grant, McCarthy, Langlands. McCarthy again. Sate. Henry Tardiner. The tackler. Fulton. High up and under, Tess McLennan. We're not sprinting Australia though. They're tired to Australia. Bullard. Australia up inside the 5 yards. Now they're taking off like the proverbial jet. But never put the ball on the correct mark with a penalty awarded. So it's a scrum. 13 minutes left in this test. Australia yet to get a point on the board. Branson, Sate, trying to beat Lowther. Lowther using English tactics all over the Australian men. McCarthy, Branson coming back and running into trouble, the Australian standout. Unusual to see this happen. Grant, Costello, back to Branson, Fulton. Lowther there. goes this time. The ball on the ground. O'Reilly. Down that grandstand touch. 5-yard scrum, fourth tackle applies. Was Heatley the man that covered O'Reilly. About 11 minutes left. New Zealand back line flat. Heatley off the back of the scrum. Props are very high. The scrum certainly have moved some 10 or 12 yards toward the centre of the field. There's quite a battle that's gone on throughout this match in the front rows. Sterling penalised. Australia will have to go for the kick or the tap kick, I imagine. Bobby McCarthy. Solo. Grant, Sattler. In they go, the New Zealanders. Tardiner, Heatley. Kulovich, great tacklers today. O'Reilly, Woodson. Crushing Sterling, little Sterling there. Tony Kulovich. They're everywhere, the Kiwis. Filled in the stab kick, too deep. Drop out 25, New Zealand. New Zealanders in their element now. They've lifted themselves at the occasion. Just been awarded Sterling the player of the day. There was a round of applause from the large crowd here. And everything right for New Zealand. 10 minutes left. Touch finder. Australia back inside their own half. 19-0 New Zealand. There's the scrums, O'Neill, who's dominated the scrums in the second half. Waiting to take this one out. Campbell. Branson again. New Zealand's defence stretched wide across the park. Sattler. Driven back there. Tardiner. Sattler, a tough prop from South Sydney. Langlands finds a gap with his placement. Cover defence, Sterling, excellent. Back to his for the beautiful stylist. McLennan, O'Reilly, but Langlands there, two fullbacks meeting together. Kulovich, Bullard, Sterling, Sattler, and a backwards slam. O'Neill, Smith. The Australians now are gone here. They're allowing New Zealand that extra yardage. Their forwards are not taking them on. They're giving them a ton of room to move in. Kulovich. Flanagan. Going through the New Zealand defence. Lauder coming back. And Orchard as well. Just inside the Kiwi half. Fitzsimmons, Campbell, and Tardiner again. Grant, tackling by New Zealand, superb, inside the 5 yards, New Zealand. Langlands, lovely kick. Again, a chance for Australia to get their first points on the board with about 8 minutes left in this game. Grant to Fitzsimmons, he's running behind, almost getting obstructed here. There's Sattler. O'Reilly to Branson. Sate. Those black jerseys everywhere at the moment. And a Australia just can't and don't look like penetrating at this stage. McCarthy, the Branson, the Grant, Fulton, O'Reilly, still going. They must score. And it does. Campbell scoring Australia's try. Look at this replay there. Very, very indecisive. New Zealand player fended down this pass. There's Fulton. O'Reilly, who's struggling this time, turns. There's the fend down of McLennan. Sam Campbell diving. So there it is, Australia with their first points on the board, 19-3. Campbell endeavouring to convert his own try. Something like 30 yards away from the crossbar. He'd be 17 yards away from the terrace sideline. 7 out of 9 goals in his first match here against the New Zealand 13 at Huntly. And leading point scorer in the Sydney competition in Australia. Campbell, according to reports, an outstanding goal kicker. First time we've seen him in action at the park. So let's have a look at his style. That's Campbell. So New Zealand certainly have avenged their 47-11 World Cup defeat at the expense of the Kangaroos this afternoon. Lava to kick off. 5 minutes left in this game. And already the large crowd at the park starting to leave the ground. There's Campbell inside his 25. Orchard. O'Reilly, Phillips there, Sadler, Grant, penetrating first line of defence, ball on the ground, Willard, and Sate has him. Smith, Sterling, Solo on his own, this brilliant halfback. Phillips, Cardona, great, McLennan, Sterling, Whittaker, brilliant! Oh, great try! Look at this dynamic Ken Sterling. Watch him, how he figures in this move. There's Krivovich running wide. Cardona stands in the tackle, gets the pass away. There's little Sterling, brilliant. Whittaker beating Langlands badly. So New Zealand have returned the compliment. Now look at them congratulating Sterling. And what a great game this halfback has had. Test debut today. And the crowd applauding him. His father, well-known Bluey Sterling. A New Zealand great way back, I think, in the 39s. And too, of course, I think most New Zealanders know Glenda Sterling, what a brilliant swimmer she has turned out for New Zealand. So what a fantastic family are the Sterlings. And of course, Ken Sterling today has been awarded the Player of the Day, chosen some 5 or 6 minutes ago. Listen. What a great finish by Cardona to that wonderful try. And he's in tremendous form, Henry Cardona. Earlier this season, I indicated that he was in such a kicking groove. I've never known Cardona to kick so well when he can land 12 out of 13 and break a New Zealand record. He's certainly the man that New Zealand wants, and today, of course, he's kicked everything, I think, bar one. And so the remarkable score is 27-3. And Krivovich says, right, we'll put the ball back in Australian territory. Langlands, New Zealand everywhere at the moment. What's left in this game? 2 minutes. 24-3. 24-3. That was the score. Yes, I said 27. It's 24. And Langlands kick into the grandstand touch. It's the 25-yard line. Sate. Five-yard line, Grant, Branson, Sate, and New Zealand forwards up very wide then. There was Tadana up wide. Acknowledge the referee's warning on that occasion. McCarthy. So New Zealand has scored 4 tries today, 6 goals. Tadana, the man who's kicked those goals today. Certainly some very, very good tries by the Kiwis. Sterling, McLennan, and Retrieve. Everything going right for New Zealand. Heatley, realising Langlands was so far up. Australian captain well out of position today as an international fullback. There is a great finish by Heatley on that occasion to follow his kick through. Fulton, Sate, and the clock says almost full time. So let's have a look at these scrums now. New Zealand have dominated the second half in the scrums after trailing, I think, by just 1 point in the scrums. They've won certainly a marked majority in the second half. The penalties have been almost about square from New Zealand and Australia's point of view. Australia, of course, came back and clamped themselves inside New Zealand's half in the opening 5 to 10 minutes. They did everything they possibly could to score points, to lift their team up after trailing 14-0. And there it is, Brannigan with possession, and he's held, and it's all over. New Zealand have won. And listen to that roar of approval. The players' arms up in the air. Congratulations, New Zealand's coach Larry Blanchard, the national selectors as well, and the New Zealand captain Roy Christian and his team. A great win. They've defeated Australia by 24 points to 3 after leading 14-0 at half-time, and they withstood all of Australia's attacking powers in that vital 10 minutes after half-time. Great football, and certainly an outstanding win for New Zealand. So there it is, goodbye from Carlo Park.